What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Nick, and we are back for Love is Blind Season 3, Episode number 10, Approaching the Altar. First pause. This hair, from this angle, is doing something. From the back, I don't know why, it just goes flat. See? It don't stay puffed out. But I do love my headband, how it coordinates with my shirt and these glasses. These were the very first pair of glasses I bought from the online web store, Zillow. And I don't even wear them that often because the prescription is not right. It's like skewed just slightly a little bit. So I'm not seeing clear, very clear or sharp. But I put them on today with this because it's a look. But I need to take them the fuck off because I'm looking at myself record this. But they hurt my eyes a little bit because it's skewed. It's not, the prescription is wrong somehow. But back to Love is Blind. So episode 10 starts off where we left off at in episode 9 when Zay left the house or left the apartment. And their apartment is a ground level apartment because he has a door. They have a door on the side where you just walk out into the parking lot outside. The door slammed shut. Cole sitting there looking stupid for a hot second. Then he jumps up, Zay, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. So they sit outside on their little patio and have a conversation. And we see him in a confessional talking about he felt like he didn't mean to be smart or mean towards her, but he realizes that the comment he made about her, he asked her was she bipolar. He felt like that comment was a little smart alecky, but they've come so far in the last month that she shouldn't let something that little and petty break up what they've been building. Sir, that's not a little petty thing. You don't ask somebody, do they have mental health issues the way that you did and consider it to be something small and petty, because that was not small, nor was it petty. So they start to talk, and she was like, listen, either you want to marry me or you don't. I am who I am, and you got to take this, take me as I am. Like, you can't put it all on me or put the ball in my court as to whether or not we're saying I do to each other when we walk down the aisle. You are looking for reasons to break up right now, and you need to come to that decision on your own. I got my decision to make. You have yours to make. Stop trying to make me make the decision. So she then says, so am I sleeping here tonight or no? Because he also had to mention that he apologizes, but he feels like they both said some stuff. Like, it was no one's fault, really, what just happened. That hiccup that they just had. It's no one's fault. No, it's definitely yours. She was in a good headspace. And you talk about her being passive-aggressive and saying little things when she has a problem with something. But this time, it was you picking. Picking. You picked about the fact that she did not like that you had that damn Nerf gun in the kitchen while you was cooking. Shooting her with the Nerf gun. Why the hell are the Nerf gun bullets in the microwave? Why? You are childish. You are immature. Very much. And it's a whole lot of things that she has to rise above and look past to get to a space where she's going to say, I do to you at on that day. And she's like, you know, they both decide that they don't really want to be fighting and acting like this. They had last night together before they split up to go and handle what they need to handle for the actual wedding. So she was like, so what do you want? Do you want me to sleep here tonight or no? Do I need to find somewhere else to sleep? Ma'am, I wouldn't even be asking him that. I would be out. You're not going to keep picking fights. You're not going to keep being immature and then try to gaslight me by asking me, am I going to say yes? Like, sir, if you don't want to say yes, just say that. You're not going to try to force me into saying I'm going to say no or yes or whatever. Like, make your decision based on how you feel. What do you think for our future? Me personally, as the outside looking in, I don't see it working. I don't think they should get married. I think it should be a no. He's way too immature. Plus, as I said, episode 1, Cole give me zesty vibes. Cole give me, maybe he's bisexual, I don't know. And he's just not saying it on this show. He don't, some of his mannerisms and stuff like that, and the way he talks, yeah, Cole give me, he like the men's. But anyway, they go back inside. He tells her he wants her to stay. Once they get inside, he apologizes again. And the camera crew stays outside. They're inside the apartment. And you can hear him saying that he gave her out. He was giving her out to walk away from him. But she decided to stay. And he really loves her for that. Man. So, it's bachelor and bachelorette party time, right? The guys, they all go to the rodeo. SK's never been to a rodeo before. I believe Bartise said he's never been to the rodeo either. So, they have something called a calf or a cattle call or something event at the rodeo. And 4 of the guys volunteered to go down and participate. It's going to be baby calves come out, and they're going to have this little scarf around their neck, and you got to chase them down and try to get the scarf off their necks. So, to participate, we have Brennan, Matt, Bartise, and Cole volunteer to go there. SK is like, I'm not going down there and doing that. Absolutely not. So, eventually, Cole grabs it. Cole wins. He takes his shirt off, do the whole rip, like he Leonidas in 300. He rips his shirt split down or whatever, right? So we see the ladies. They're having a joint bachelorette pool party at the moment. They have some guys with bow ties and shirtless but with a bow tie on. Serving them drinks by the pool. There's some finger foods and things like that. So they sit down and they all have a conversation about where they are in their relationships at the moment. And Alexa is like, Brendan and I, we are good. Like, we just ready to do it or whatever. And that's when Nancy's like, you know what, at the moment, for a second, it took Bartise a little while to come around to make sure his actions matched his words. But at this moment, I'm for sure that Bartise is going to say yes when it comes time. And I already know what my answer is going to be, but I'm just not saying it yet. But I already know what my answer is going to be. So that's when Raven volunteers that she believes in signs. And SK did the sweetest thing. He bought her a pair of kissing fish. And the next day, she said this morning when we were moving out, so apparently they moved out of the show-sponsored apartment that they all share. She got up to get ready to move out, and the damn fish are dead. And everybody was like, wow. She was like, so I believe in signs, and maybe that was a sign. So that's when Colleen volunteers about, you know, at this point, she's been, her and Matt, she doesn't know for sure what she's going to say right now. Is iffy because she feels like she would take a bullet for him, but she's not sure if he would take a bullet for her. Raven volunteers, well, hell, that's a sign right there. That's a sign. I believe in signs. And she's like, you know, other people are saying, well, if you, I think it was Zay. Zay was like, listen, if you know for sure you would take a bullet for him and you're questioning whether or not he would take one for you, that's not good. Like, you should know, you should be assured that you are what he wants and he's willing, you know, to go the distance for you or whatever. And that's when Zay volunteers that the night before her and Cole had gotten into it. And Alexia was like, listen, you got yourself a cute little boy. And she said, I don't mean to sound bitchy and mean, but I think I speak for all of us here. You are like up here looks and emotionally and everything you got going for yourself. And he's down here. Basically, he's childish. And she said it. She said he's very immature. Alexa said this. And I'm just like, yup. Yup, as I'm watching it. Even Raven was like, yeah. I don't see it lasting. Raven said it. Like, I don't even see it lasting. If y'all say I do. And so that's when Zay even had told him, he asked me, was I bipolar and stuff? And everybody see it. He is childish. Childish, childish, childish. And Zay is like, but I love him. I really love him. She even has like a confessional talking about how much she loves Cole, and she wouldn't be there fighting through this if she didn't love him as much as she did. And it's all talk sounding like she gonna stick it out. Before I go to watch the rest, she even mentions the fact that his parents, his family, like his sisters and stuff, they found her on Instagram and they told him they found her on Instagram and started following her. And still told him, yeah, we don't mind following her on Instagram and everything, but to be honest, she's not the type that we think that you would go for. We don't think she's the type that suits you. And they don't want to meet her in person via FaceTime, video call, anything like that. They don't want to meet her at all, but they want to follow her on social media. They don't want to meet her till they get married. So, the ladies get changed and they go on a drunk trolley ride. The trolley is taking them to the strip club. While they're on the trolley, though, we don't see her face. We see the heels and the dress of one of the ladies holding on to the bars above, where her feet planted on the backs of the benches on the trolley, swinging like this, like a swing, like swinging herself. I said, okay. And I was like, that's definitely Nancy. And then they get to the club and I see her dress. I said, yeah, that's definitely Nancy. They see the male dancers and all that stuff. They having a great time. Zay is feeling it. She bending over. She twerking a little something and all that kind of stuff. And then we see her do a confessional outside about how much she loves Cole and she can't wait to marry him, and why wouldn't he want to marry her? She look how she look and stuff like that. And then we pan over to the guys. The guys are at a bar, and Cole is talking to his friends, his two closest friends, and he's expressing the fact that he don't think she's genuine. He don't think she really loves him for him. He said, because she doesn't show me, she doesn't treat me nice. It's like one day is good, everything is amazing, the sex is amazing, the times we share outside of having sex, talking and just the dates and everything that we did, all of that stuff is amazing one day, and the next day we're arguing again. And that's giving him pause, like, he not sure if he want to get married to something like that. Like, why would I say forever to this? Like, this day is good, this day is bad, this day is good, this day is bad. We get back over to the ladies. They going along, they having a good old time. We see Alexa, she rubbing down the dancer's body like this, and he got his pants pulled down so you can see his V is waxed. And then we see a confessional of her, and she's like, listen, I'm definitely ready to go on and say I do. I feel like me and Brennan got the best relationship out of everybody because we really love each other and we really want this for the right reasons, and we haven't been having any arguments or fights or anything like that. Meanwhile, Brennan is over there at the bar with the guys, and what is going on with his hair? Because it's like, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it was weird. That little slick piece flying here and flying here, and I was like, what's going on? But Brennan is at the bar. He's having a conversation with SK and SK's friend. SK's friend looks just like Anthony Hamilton to me. So Brennan expresses that everything was real surface level with them, and he's kind of concerned because they haven't had any big blow up or big fights thus far or whatever. But he will say that, you know, everything seemed surface level and stuff like that. But then their third day together, they started talking about stuff, like going a little deeper, talking about things on a deeper level. And a lot of their conversations revolve around what they see their marriage being and themselves being in the future. Like, future plans is what they've been doing. planning their future and everything and talking about things that's going to happen down the line. And so SK was like, listen, don't go looking for the problems. If things have been good, they've just been good for y'all. That's just what it is. Don't go looking for no issues and no problems. And he was like, I'm not going to go and look for them. But at this point, basically, he's definitely going to say, I do to Alexa. The girls continue to having their fun time, their good time. We see Colleen. She's having fun. She's like, you know what? This is a good time. This is my first time coming to a strip club. And it's a little much for me personally going on. So then they go back to the bar where the guys are hanging out. And we see Matt talking to one of his homeboys that he introduced Colleen to. And he tells the homeboy, like, listen, I want to marry her. I think she's the sweetest, sweetest girl. He was like, but I find myself looking for arguments and blowing little small things out of proportion. And I don't want to do that. That's not the kind of love I want to give her. That's not what I really want to do. Like, I want to love her, and not keep finding reasons to jump up and try to run and walk away. Like, the reason y'all call me 2-date Matt, because I get scared and I run away real quick after the second date and stuff. So the friend gives him some really sound advice. He's like, listen, you went through what you went through. You've been through marriage before. You thought you had the love of your life, and she cheated on you. But what you're doing now is trying to find reasons to not engage and be with Colleen because you're afraid of being hurt again like you was the first time. And I would say, don't allow that past experience to ruin what you got going on right now. Like, this is a beautiful experience. Like, we know what you would do if you was not married. You would continue to live your life the way that you been living it. But we all know deep down inside you miss and you want to be in a marriage. You want that relationship. And it would be a shame if you let that past experience, that hurt that you experienced with another person, ruin what you got going on with this person right here in front of your face. So, whatever you choose to do, that's on you. I got your back no matter what. But don't let that past experience make the decision for you. This is a different woman, different experience. Then we go back to the club again, and we see Raven was like, I love that all my girls are having a blast, but I'm over it. Like, I'm too grown for this whole scene. I just want to be with my fiance. And she just sitting there on the side looking with her homegirl, that best friend of hers. Just looking like she over it. She don't want to be at the club. She want to be somewhere with SK. So they go back to SK having a conversation with his brother. And his brother's name is AB. The brother is younger than him. And his friend Damien. So he was just like, the brother was like, listen, I love Raven for you. When she comes in the room, you light up. Like, and I can tell you really love her. And I look up to you and your relationship with her. And I think it's going to work. And I can't wait for you guys to get married. Like, I'm here for you. And the best friend is like, yeah, I'm here for you too, whichever decision you want to make. And they also bring up the fact that the mother feels a way about Raven's family not being involved in anything at this moment and stuff like that. So, SK was like, y'all basically, he was like, thank y'all for looking up to me. But basically, y'all putting a lot of pressure on me. But I do love Raven, and she is a good girl. She's, she's a really good girl or whatever. We back at the club with the ladies. Nancy's having a good time. She says she having fun, but she ready for her man. She don't want to see no other man shaking his peen all up in through her face. She wants to see her own man shake his thing up in her face. So then we see Bartiz. He's talking to two of his friends that we've never seen before. I don't recall seeing these guys. His sentiments are, he's more physically attracted to Nancy now than he was at the beginning. There's no doubt about it. He does love her, and he thinks that she's definitely going to say yes. But the negative reaction that he got from his family towards Nancy when they met that first day is still bothering him. And he's tried to let it go. He's trying to let it go. And he can see himself still saying yes, despite the fact that they had a negative reaction to Nancy when they first met her. And it was all based on that whole conversation about the abortion and stuff. But he's letting his friends know, like, I could do this. He said, no, legit, I'm scared. I'm scared as hell. Like, this is scary, but I feel like I can do it. I can marry Nancy. Because when I do it, when I say I do, I want to get married and all those things, bachelor party, all that kind of stuff, I only want to do it the one time. Which is what I feel like everybody says that going into the first marriage. I said that. I want to do it once, and it's for forever. And 2 years after the wedding, we weren't even together. We were separated. He was doing his thing, whatever he was doing. And I was going through the motions of realizing that I married somebody that wasn't really ready for what marriage means and all that it entails. Because I was ready to stick it out and go through the bumps in the road and all those things together, and he just was not. But anyway, enough about me. Back to the show. And I'm back. So anyway, Bartise is just like, you know, honestly, shit is real. It's real right now. This some real shit. So then we see Raven and her friends and SK and them arriving to the venue for their wedding. We see SK talking to his brother and his a couple of friends of his. And he's all like, you know, the brother once again reiterates how much he thinks Raven is a good person, how much his brother lights up when he speaks of her, and when you know, when she's in the room. And he thinks that she's a really good girl, and SK's like, yeah, I really love her. She got so much going for her. She a go-getter. She's ambitious like me and all these things like that, right? That's what they saying during their conversation. We see Raven and her girls, and they talking about, you know, how they ride or die for one another, and how people always say, I hide the body. And they like, yeah, we definitely gonna hide the body. And then one of the friends was like, yeah, and if SK say no, we gonna hide the body. Because the one friend that we saw that met SK at lunch that day, she's like, listen, if he say no, I'm gonna bop him. I'm gonna bop him. Take notice of the fact that that one friend that met them for lunch with her, we have not seen her since that episode when they met for lunch to talk about this wedding. So then we see, Raven also thanks them. She says she's very overwhelmed. She feels overwhelmed. And she does have anxiety about what he might say when she comes down the aisle and everything. But she's ready. We see SK sitting down. He's got his agbaje on. And his mom comes down. He sits with his mom. His mom speaks on the fact that his father's looking down at him because apparently his father has passed away. They wish he could be there in person and not just in spirit. And this is when SK decides to say, Ma, I really love Raven. And I was so sure up until this very moment. In this moment, I'm afraid, Ma. I'm nervous. I'm scared. And she says, you know what? As long as when you get up there, just focus on the fact that this is your day to marry the person that you say you love. And just focus on you and her. And you'll be fine. And you say, I'm going to do this today. I'm getting married today. Tell yourself that in your mind. And you'll be able to get through this. It's time for the ceremony. Well, before we get there, I'm rushing. I forgot to mention that we saw a montage of SK and Raven's journey through the pods, Malibu, and all that kind of stuff leading up to this point. And we get back to the bridal suite where Raven's getting dressed. She comes out with her dress on. And it is not at all the dress that we saw her in when they all went to the bridal gown shop. And she picked that all-white plain dress. That is not what she's wearing. This time she has on one of those lace-looking dresses with the tan mesh in between to cover the body part. It's supposed to look like skin or whatever. She's wearing one of those. It's off the shoulder with the little sleeve that just comes around like this. Hair's in a ponytail or in a bun pulled to the back. Because, remember, she's wearing a gele. I noticed that all her bridesmaids, her friends, they already have their geles on. They have the same head wrap that SK's mom is wearing. SK's mom shows up to the room to wrap Raven's hair and give her some words of encouragement for the day and all that kind of stuff. When she arrives, what she puts on Raven's head does not look like a gele at all. She puts on a white turban. Looks like a turban to me. My grandmother used to rock turbans from the Chinese beauty supply store. Or, I am so sorry. Let me take that word back. I try not to say that because you don't know what those people, their ethnicities are, okay? So I'm going to say the Asian beauty supply store. Please forgive that slip up. But, because I didn't mean it, negatively or anything like that. But she has a white turban on with one of those, with a veil over top, like the veil that's just the kind that you pull over, like, you see a lot of Hispanics do it in their weddings. And also sometimes they'll have the man and the woman, the bride and groom under it, with a rosary around them as they pray for them and all that kind of stuff like that. She has on one of those type of veils that you just pull over like this, right? Over top of the turban. The ceremony starts. SK's up there waiting for her. He's looking nervous. Yo, this refrigerator and the water and ice maker part of it is weird. But anyway, she comes down the aisle. They say the sweetest vows to one another. They have a female officiant. The female officiant asks them, after they've said their personal written vows, SK talking about how much he loves her and the sunshine she is and all these things. When they ask him, can he say I do to her? He says he cannot. I should have known this was going to happen. And he apologizes to his family and everybody. And he's just like, I just couldn't go through with it. The family dynamic and how much they bring into the marriage and stuff like that, that was a real issue for him. He couldn't get past that her family was not there, that she doesn't want a marriage where family won't have such a big impact and input on what they doing with their lives and stuff like that. She didn't want that. So I'm guessing that they had got this far, and maybe they had a conversation beforehand that he was going to say, I cannot, once he got up there. He already knew he was going to say, I cannot. That's what I think. I think they discussed it, that they wasn't going to say I do to each other. Wow. I should have known it by the fact that what she said about the 2 dead fish. The kissing fish was dead. And she said that was a sign. She didn't have on the dress. that she said that she wanted to wear for the wedding. That's not what she was wearing for her wedding. It was something totally different. She didn't have a hair wrap that she said she was going to have. She had that daggone turban on and everything like that. I should have known then. I should have known then. Now let's see whose wedding is up next. Alright, y'all. I just had to come back real quick and say. The officiant asked SK first to say I do. And he said he do not. Because they have a very special set of circumstances. And he just felt like today is just not the day to do it. It was his mom, as they were waiting for him to say I do. And he was making the face like, building up the nerve to say what he wanted to say. They went to his mom. The camera panned to his mom. She in the audience like, it's giving Whitley's mother on that episode of A Different World when she was supposed to marry Byron. And she ended up marrying Dwayne. Remember? She was like, I do, yes. Like she whispering. She leaning up and whispering, saying it for Whitley because Whitley wasn't saying nothing. Because Dwayne was in the back talking about something. Will you have me? I love her. Remember that? Yo, that's one of the best episodes of TV ever. Is when Dwayne and Whitley finally got married on A Different World. But anyway, back to this. So, when he said, I do not, they panned the audience again. His brother, his homeboy, some girl sitting behind the brother. All of them had the same exact face. They couldn't believe he said, I do not. SK gets outside. He gives us a confessional. He just couldn't say yes today because of several reasons. He felt like Raven wasn't flexible with the fact that he has to go to California to go to school. She was not wavering in that she would move out there with him while he could pursue his graduate studies. So that was an issue for him. As well as the fact that the family situation. You know, he was like, he just couldn't look past those things. And he knows she was looking forward to him saying I do. And he apologizes, but he just couldn't say yes or I do to her, knowing that she was not willing to come to California with him while he did his graduate studies. We see her back in the room, in the bridal suite. His mom comes in. She comes in apologizing for him. She looks to be still in disbelief that he said no. She said, I'm so sorry. She lets her know, like, the first day I met you, me and you ourselves, we had a connection. I like you. I love you. You're such a beautiful person. And I really thought my son was going to say yes, and he didn't. I'm just so sorry. Raven's like, it's okay. It is okay. And the mom hugs her one more time before she leaves. And then we see Raven talking to the cameras, and she's just like, you know what? I really planned on saying yes today. I really was going to say yes to him. So my theory, that they talked about it beforehand and decided that one of them was going to say no at the altar, my theory goes out the window because I was wrong, apparently. Wow. Wow. So, Nancy and Bartiste's nuptials are up next. They both arrive. We see Nancy in a bridal suite identical to the one that Raven was in. I forgot to mention also that Raven made sure to let us all know that at this point in her and SK's relationship, before they went down the aisle, that's the furthest she ever got in her life in a relationship. She's never been proposed to, walk down the aisle and all that kind of stuff. Planned a wedding or none of that. This was like her very first experience with the whole thing. Nancy and Bartiste arrive. And of course, we get a video montage of their journeys up to this point. We get Nancy in the room talking, getting dressed with her mom. And once she has her dress on, her dad comes. And they have a talk with her about how much they love her. And she's telling them how much she loves them. She thanks them for being by her side through all of this. And she's really ready to go and marry Bartiste. In the meantime, we see Bartiste talking to his boys. And I must say, Bartiste has shown us a very diverse group of friends as far as ethnicities and stuff like that is concerned. He reiterates the fact that he really loves Nancy. And either he's going to be making the biggest mistake of his life or the best decision of his life. He wouldn't know if it was a mistake or not until years down the road. But he loves her and he's ready to do it. So then we have a scene where he's sitting down with his guys. And he receives a gift from Nancy. It's a big bag, like a gift bag. And there's several things wrapped in blue tissue paper. And when he opens it, he starts to become full of emotion, overwhelmed with emotion. And he puts his head down. He lets the tears build up, the emotion, you know. And he's like, y'all don't understand, like, she packed me a bag full of things from our journey. So it was like little things like vitamins, because he wasn't taking his vitamins like he should. She was always reminding him to do that. And there were some other things that, you know, symbolize different things or conversations, places, different, you know, that they've had throughout the course of their journey on the show. So then we see Bartiste in his outfit. He's talking to his mom, because his mom is walking him in and down the aisle. And he tells his mom he's ready. He's ready to do this. And he once again reiterates that he's ready to do this. And either he's going to be making her his wife and she's going to be his wife for life. Or this is going to be the last day he lays eyes on Nancy. We don't know. So they walk down the aisle. Nancy's father escorts her down the aisle. They say their vows. And Bartiste goes on this long-winded spiel about how much he loves her and their growth as a couple and how they're going to have this great life together and how much he loves her. And then the officiant asks Nancy first. Nancy, whatever Rodriguez, do you take Bartiste, I forgot what the last name is, to be your husband from this day forward? She takes a second and she's just like, I do. And then he goes and he looks at Bartiste and he reiterates the same thing to Bartiste. And as he's doing that, Nancy is doing like this. She giddy and she's doing like this and shaking her head like you better say yes. And it goes off. We gotta wait till the next episode to see whether or not Bartiste said yes or no to marrying Nancy. They knew to do that to us and leave us on a cliffhanger. So at this point, y'all, do y'all think SK made the right decision? At first, like I said, I thought that him and Raven had come to a decision on their own. And he was just the one who said no at the altar. Like they had already decided that they wasn't going to go through with it. And now looking at her laying in that bed, looking like she's sad and crying. Because he said no and she said she was going to say yes. Do y'all believe that? Or do y'all feel like I feel that perhaps they decided beforehand that they was going to say no anyway? They just wanted to go on through with filming the show and getting paid for being on the show and all that. What y'all think? What y'all think Bartiste going to say? Is Bartiste going to say yes? And if he is going to say yes, do y'all feel like the marriage is going to last past a year or two? Because apparently they filmed this show and we don't get to actually see it until maybe a year and a half after they've been married already. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think that they going to get married? Who else? Who do y'all think going to say no and who do y'all think going to say yes? Get in the comments and let me know. with that being said, this has been this week's episodes of Love is Blind. Episodes, what was this? Episodes 8 through 10. I hope y'all enjoyed this review recap and my own personal thoughts and feelings on everything regarding Love is Blind. And I'll see y'all next week for the finale episodes. Because I believe next week we're just going to get the other 3 couples over the course of maybe 2 or 3 episodes. And until then, y'all be easy. Y'all be good. Try to be kind to yourselves and to others. And trying to make this world a better place because it's so dark in the world these days. So dark in the world these days. I left out for a while. I came back. And my sister let me know that Aaron Carter, younger brother to Nick Carter, passed away, drowned in his bathtub. How do you drown in a tub? I wonder if he unalived himself. I know he's had some issues with drugs. I don't know. I'm not even going to speculate, but God rest his soul. It's so unfortunate. It's so sad. I'm still sad about Takeoff. Who said I was left off a Betty Pooch? I'll never forget that. I'll never forget their carpool karaoke they did. It looked like a good time. I watched Old Ladies First Panel with Bondi Blue, Jamie That's Me, and Niecy Dixon. And they spoke on it in a video that they pre-recorded for the Ladies First Panel. And they said something that I never even thought about or took into consideration. The lyrics and the things that they say in these songs. You know how they say you can manifest things? The ladies were saying, or the rappers these days manifesting by saying manifesting the ends of their lives through violent means by the things that they saying in these songs. And that's a very valid question. Because life, what is it? The power of life and death lies in the tongue. Isn't that the saying? And you can speak evil, you can speak good into your life by what you say. So there's some validity to what the ladies said. I feel like, wow. I feel like he was a good person. He came off as a good person. He was quiet. He was the one that wasn't causing the ruckus. He was the chill one. And the fact that he's gone by no fault of his own, just wrong place, wrong time. It's just so messed up. So God rest his soul as well. I pray for all his family and friends. And I especially pray for his uncle Quavo, because the first reports I saw was that Quavo was in a dice game. He got angry because his pockets was getting ran, as the person who posted put it. And he got angry and got aggressive. The guys got aggressive back. His crew pulled out their guns, started shooting. And then their crew, the other people's crew, pulled out their guns and started shooting. And when the shots rang out, Takeoff got hit in the head with the first shot. And that's the one that took him out. I did see that video on Twitter. I don't know why people posted that. I don't know why. I don't even know why I was scrolling and I seen it. But I knew from that he was not here anymore. But again, as I was saying, I pray for Quavo, because if those reports are correct, that's going to bother him for the rest of his life. That I caused the melee that caused my nephew to be unalived. When he wasn't bothering nobody, he wasn't a part of anything. Like, that's a whole nother layer of guilt and all all those things that could be, like, that's another weight on your chest when you feel responsible for somebody's death. So I pray that those reports were wrong and that that's not what really happened. I prayed that it was fake news when I first heard it, but it's the for real news. And it's so unfortunate. And I pray for their family, their friends, all who loved Takeoff and knew him personally. I pray for y'all, for peace. Sometimes, like, God is always in control. We never know the reasons why. All that we know is that we got to make peace with it and say goodbye. That's it. And I just pray. I pray God holds everybody who knew and loved him close to his bosom during this trying time. Because it's not easy. And it's especially hard when it's unexpected and it's somebody who was so freaking young. And with that being said, I'm logging off of here for today. I'll see y'all next week for the new episodes of Love is Blind. Sorry I had to end on a sad note, y'all. But I had to get it off my chest.